Don't let her fool you. Not you or anyone else on Earth could defeat her in combat. Bubbles will make you cry. Welcome to the WBZ universe, where step by step I will create the next massive sci-fi fantasy universe right here on YouTube. Smash a like for this bubbly badass, Bubbles from the planet Enchantis. The Hex of Enchantis have the unique ability to manipulate hydrocarbon molecules through telekinesis and puppetry skills. They call this enchanting. Hydrocarbon molecules are found in crude and refined oils and the products we make out of them. The Hex are a very sexist society, and it's thought they developed this way because of how heavy these oils are to carry and enchant. Bubbles was born into a social structure so split that women were forbidden from using enchanting for anything except household chores. Any non-domestic enchanting was unladylike, and those caught doing it would be ostracized by their community. Her entire life up till right now at age 14, Bubbles has refused to participate in womanly duties like the courting process. Bubbles shows this happy-go-lucky attitude that appears on the outside to be oblivious to the whispers and the stares that she finds around every corner. However, shortly after she turned 14, her father was fired from his job for being unable to control his feminist daughter. Witnessing the pain her father was going through, she decided now was the time to make her move, and she did something nobody saw coming. Bubbles shocks her entire society when she enters the Grand Entrance Tournament as the first female to ever attempt to participate. The Grand Entrance Tournament decides who will gain entrance to the largest enchanting university, and on this occasion also decides who will be the next Acolyte to the Milky Way University. Turned away through unbridled laughter, she mocks the directors and the other participants with a smile as they walk through. Because there's no official rule against this, and because they think this would just be a joke of a spectacle, they finally humor her and allow her to officially enter the tournament. As the last seed in the tournament, she faces the number 1 seed right away. Montaigne enters the ring. Montaigne is very large for a Hex, 6 feet tall and muscular, and he carries in a gourd full of crude oil larger than any she has ever seen before. Laughing and playing up to the crowd, he slams the gourd down on the ground and opens its cap. Bubbles enters the ring with a strange white gourd strapped to her back. Even stranger, she is carrying a 2-handed wand with a large ring at the top. Montaigne immediately enchants the crude oil out of the gourd and forms it into a giant golem. He gives it the directive to go straight for Bubbles without any regard for etiquette or her safety. Bubbles quickly spins the cap off her gourd and dips her wand into it. To everyone's surprise, she twirls and 3 large bubbles eject from her wand. The crowd goes completely silent with confusion. They've never seen anything like this before. Their soaps, like most things in Enchantis, contain hydrocarbon atoms because they're made from petroleum. But the crowd keeps thinking, what is she doing using women's soap in battle? Bubbles leaps onto one of the soap bubbles and it floats her high above the ring. She smiles and waves to the angry crowd as she lazily floats by them. Appearing oblivious to their boos, she points her wand to a second bubble and directs it towards the crude oil golem. The bubble engulfs it, but the golem pushes against the walls of the bubble, stretching it, but no matter how much it stretches, the bubble doesn't pop. Enchanting is an energy manipulation that fills the spaces between the hydrocarbon molecules. This energy keeps the hydrocarbon molecules bound together until the energy runs out. Bubbles then directs the second soap bubble to swallow Montaigne. The crowd goes completely silent. She enchants Montaigne's bubble out of the ring, and with a wink and a smile, she commands the bubble to pop. Montaigne, the favorite to be the next Acolyte to the Milky Way Academy, is disqualified in the first round. Dodging food and bottles from the crowd, she continues to blow through the tournament with ease. With each opponent, she demonstrates a different set of abilities. Nobody knows how to counter her soap bubble solution, since nobody has ever tried something like this before. The bubble's light weight means she can enchant far greater quantities and for much longer durations than the men can manage with their heavy oils. After the tournament, she grabs her medal from the unwilling tournament directors, and to a constant chorus of boos, she floats her way out of the Coliseum. When she returns, her father shows a glimmer of pride before he walks over and says, "You know they won't let you keep that, right?" He's implying that the men will not only come for the medal, but for her father as well. In her usual out-of-context, cheerful voice and even smile. She just says, "I haven't let people tell me what I can't do for a long time now," as she slams the door to her room. She awakes in the morning to a crowd gathered around her soon-to-be foreclosed home. Her father stares at the ground out of shame in his inability to stand up to the gathering mob. Without hesitation, she walks directly past her father and out onto the deck overlooking the crowd. Instead of the male hex she was expecting to see, it was nearly every female hex in the city, with only a few males sprinkled in. The crowd erupts into a cheer that greatly dwarfs the boos she remembers from the day before. With great fanfare, Bubbles enchants a bubble just large enough for her to ride on and swoops down to the crowd below, leaning off to high-five the people who came to cheer her on. In light of the quickly growing crowd, after weeks of silence, the royal family finally announces Bubble as the next Acolyte to the Milky Way Academy and future guardian of the planet Enchantis. In her acceptance speech, Bubbles didn't thank anyone, as nobody had helped her in any meaningful way. She simply promised to teach every hex who wanted to learn, regardless of gender, how to enchant soap bubbles. Obviously, this did not end sexism on their planet, but it did move the needle substantially compared to where it was. Thank you, and click the next video to go further down the rabbit hole.
I'm the kingpin, top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin, showstopper, top dog, godfather. I'm the kingpin.